so now we're actually starting only about 5 minutes behind. So what I have for you today, I do have notes I'm going to be looking at once in a while. We're doing a low impact mobility and strength workout. Turn the music down a little bit real quick. So low impact, there's not going to be any jumping. My mom has, do you want to explain what it is?
I have a neuroma in each foot, so I hurt my feet if I bounce.
So maybe if you know anybody who has any injury like that, like a foot neuroma, or just it cannot be doing a lot of jumping for their knees or whatever the reason is, this would be a safe workout for them to partake in. So let's get started. We're doing a little run through of what we're doing today, about 15 to 20 minutes of mobility work for mobilizing all of our joints down the kinetic chain from our head to our toes. Then we're doing 3 circuits of A, B, and C. Each of these blocks has 3 exercises, and we'll be doing them for 45 seconds on with a 15-second recovery. Followed by that, we have I call it the burnout round, to burn out all of our energy, and we have 2 exercises, 45 seconds, 3 rounds of each of those, followed by stretching. Now I feel like the music can be a little louder.
Yeah, I can barely hear it.
It's hard to get the right balance. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I'm just gonna face this way for now, with just hip mobilization. So putting your hands on the ASIS, the bony part of your hip. You're just going to stand hip distance apart and tuck your tailbone underneath you, rounding the lower back, and then release the tailbone, arching the lower back. So we call this posterior to anterior right here, pelvic tucks. So I will demonstrate from the side. So right here, that's a good idea. So posterior, you're rounding the back. Anterior, release the tailbone. So you're tucking and releasing. You can think of a scared dog right here, and then a happy dog wagging its tail. So a few more of these, just focusing on what your tailbone and your back is doing. We're going to be thinking about this on our backs on the mat a little bit later. So just remember this movement. And now left and right. So soft bend in the knees. Let your left hip come up, and then let your right hip come up. It might feel a little bit weird, but we call this hip hiking. So you're hiking one hip, releasing the other, hiking the other hip. And then the challenge is to combine that. So front, tuck the tailbone, right, back, left, front, right, release the tailbone, and left. And then reverse, front, left, back, right. Little hula hooping party without a hula hoop. So left, back, right, and up, and then just shake it out. Next is just about the neck. So I'm going to show you from this side. You're going to stand with a double chin. Try to really tuck or double or triple your chin, and then release it. Tuck the chin and release it. This is a physical therapy exercise I learned that's really good for neck mobilization. We call this the eye neck. You're on your eye devices, your Apple devices, and you're flexing forward. So we want to reverse that by stacking our head, getting that deep extension of the neck. So really thinking about that double chin, using the first 2 cervical vertebrae for this little motion. 2 more. And then from here, I'll show you the spinal, thoracic, and flexion and extension of the thoracic spine. So you're going to interlace your fingers here, bend the knees softly, and then round your spine like a C, looking through your arms like a picture frame. You're framing your head. Looking at the mat, really feel that tucking of the tailbone we worked on, rounding of the back. Take 1 more deep breath here. Press out through your heels, engage your glutes, palms face forward, and extend your breastbone and your eyes to the ceiling for an extension. So make sure you're supporting yourself by engaging your glutes to take it out of the lower back arching too much. Hold this for 1 more breath. And then forward, so interlace those fingers, bend the knees, and round your spine forwards. Really feel the widening sensation on the back of your shoulder blades. Feel the tucking of your tailbone and the rounding of your low back. 1 more breath here. And then 1 more extension. Stand tall, palms face forwards, and look to the ceiling. Really trying to focus that extension into your upper and mid back. Then I'm gonna face forward, a little shoulder work. So make a goalpost, 90 degrees with your elbows and your arms, and then we're going to flip flop. One arm, shoulder, internal rotation, one arm, external rotation. So really just wringing out the shoulders in their full ranges of motion here, internal and external. Standing nice and tall, like somebody's pulling you up with a marionette puppet. Then adding on, when your left arm is up and your right arm is down, straighten your arms into a side bend, really pressing your hips to the left and your rib cage to the right. And then other side, pressing your hips to the right and your ribs to the left. Really reach with your arms. One more each side with a little added challenge if you'd like. So reach long, little adjustment. Shift your weight into your left leg. So your left foot is holding all of your weight. And if you want the challenge, then elevate your right leg a few inches off the ground. So this is an abduction of the right leg. Really keep that crescent shape in your body. That will help you balance, and then set it down. Other side. So reach tall and then over to the left. Once you feel ready here, place your weight to the right leg, crescent shape that side of the body, and lift the left leg. For an added balance challenge, you can flex and point your ankle if you want to distract yourself a little bit. Flex and point, flex and point. And then standing up nice and tall with the arms up to the side, working on the neck and the shoulder here. Palms face forward, core is engaged. You're just going to pulse your arms back a little bit, opening up your chest. Try to relax your shoulders down towards your back pockets. Don't wear them up like earrings. And then you're going to have one palm up, one palm down. And you're going to switch. So left and right. One palm is up, one is down. We call this supination, like you're holding soup. Pronation, like you're dropping the soup. Just letting yourself go right and left. We're also getting that internal and external rotation at the shoulder. Now look towards the upper facing palm. So you're letting your neck rotate with your shoulders now. Make sure you're still breathing. And now bring the arms down in a V. So really actively try to root your arms like carrots into the earth, down towards the floor to really stretch them down. We're going to stretch the neck real quick. So look in front of you and then pretend you're listening to a phone on the right shoulder. So you're getting a lateral stretch on the left side of the neck. So from here, just lean like you're trying to listen to a phone on your right shoulder. So we're getting a nice stretch in all of these muscles, tiny muscles of the neck, the scalenes. And then a little adjustment from here. Really make sure you're really rooting that left arm down to increase that stretch. We're going to take our chin and our eyes and look towards your armpit, your right armpit. And then double chin a little bit. Same thing we did earlier. Think about that double chin. You'll get more into the back upper part of the neck by doing that. Take 2 deep breaths here. Then we're going to draw little U's with our chin. So on that diagonal, you're drawing a little U. It's tiny. So this is something I learned at the physical therapy clinic when I was interning. This little 3-part combo for the neck. Draw 2 more U's. And then come up, shake your arms out, other side. So root those arms down to V, really rooting the right arm. Grow up nice and tall on your inhale. And then exhale, listen to the phone on your left shoulder, feeling that right side of your neck stretching. Just looking ahead of you. One more deep breath here before changing it up. Now gaze towards your armpits and double chin. Really lengthening the back of the neck. And then drawing those U's. You're looking at that diagonal, drawing a little U up and down. Just imagine a little track you're following with your chin. And 2 more. Oh yes, next we're going to go down the kinetic chain. So this one seems really easy to start, but it's actually a little bit of a challenge. So all you're gonna move is your eyes. Look with your eyes only as far left as you can into your peripheral vision without moving your body. And now look all the way to the right. So we're strengthening those tiny muscles in the eye, and then all the way left. It's going to get more complex. We're going to go down the body, adding rotation at every joint. So now let your neck look where your eyes were going. This is actually a Tai Chi kind of exercise from Qigong, which I also learned when I was living in downtown San Jose. And it feels really good in the morning especially. And now to that neck and eye movement, you're going to internally rotate, externally rotate the shoulders. So it's a little coordination. So pivoting the shoulders in and out while you're looking left and right. Now the arm movement is going to change. You're going to keep your hips forward and swing your arms, tapping your kidney in your lower back area, tapping the front of your hip. So doing little self taps here as you're rotating your arms. And you can still look back, left and right, but really keep your hip bones right here shining forwards. So we're isolating the rotation in the upper body. Make sure you're breathing. Adding on, let the hips rotate. Let them rotate where the body's going. So you're releasing and pivoting on your feet, pivoting left and right. Just letting those arms hang like wet spaghetti noodles without any tension in them. One more. And then standing, we're just going to isolate the hip. Bring the left hip out in front of you, left leg out in front of you. So really balancing on that right leg. Internal to external rotation. So out is external, in internal. So they're little hipsters or windshield wipers. Bring it out to the diagonal, about 45-degree angle. Same thing here. And then behind you, but only a little bit. Just about a foot or less behind you. Trying to balance. You can hold on to a chair or the wall if you need a little bit of support. And then the other leg. Right leg out in front of you, internal to external. As you're doing this, make sure you're growing nice and tall. Imagine that puppet string pulling you up out of the crown of your head. We're going to the diagonal now, 45-degree angle. And your core is lightly engaged here. And then behind you, just about a foot, trying to keep your balance here. Just a few more parts of the mobility section. So standing at the edge of your mat, at the front of it, we're going to step back with our left foot into a lunge. To make it a little bit more of a deeper stretch, come into a deeper lunge. And then open your hips to a sumo squat facing forwards. So hip external rotation, back to the sumo, the 90 degrees, and then step forward. Other leg, step it back, 90 degree split squat. Open to sumo, heels are down. Then come back to the front. So step it back. We call this a lunge to sumo. We'll just do a few more of these to open up the hips. The lower you go, the more intensity you'll have in the stretch. Let's do one more right here. And then coming to forward, we just have two more things. Wide stance with the feet externally rotated from the hips. We're just going to shift our weight right and left, lateral shifts. Trying to keep the core engaged like you're gliding between two panes of glass in front and behind of you, and you don't want to fall into them. So trying to stay low as you come through center. I'm not coming up, I'm staying low to open up the inner thighs and the hips. If you want a little more, you can widen your feet and definitely don't have to do this. And this is called a Cossack squat, where you're on the ball of one foot and you're releasing the heel, releasing the balls of the
I'm not going to try
other
that.
foot. Yeah, this is an advanced variation, so only do this if you have been doing lots of stretching and yoga and you feel like your hips will let you do this without hurting yourself. Otherwise, you're here.
I don't dare try.
For just a few more. And then shimmy your feet back together. Our very last part of the mobility section is a Pilates roll down. We're going to be standing nice and tall, hip distance apart with our feet. Just inhale, grow even taller. Shift the weight to the forefoot, to the front of the foot, and engage your glutes. Inhale the arms overhead. And exhale, peel down one vertebrae at a time. Really slowly, C-curving that spine, trying to keep your pelvis from tipping until the very last moment. Maybe nod your head yes, shake it no, release any neck tension you might still have. Softly bend the knees and tuck your tailbone as you roll the spine back up to the start. And 2 more without all the topping. Inhale and exhale. Bending the knees slightly to come up. And last one here, inhale overhead. And exhale, peel the spine down. Bending the knees slightly and coming up to standing. So that was the mobility section. We might grab a little bit of water, and I'm going to start demonstrating the block A. So we're doing a squat to lateral kicks, 45 seconds of that. And then we're doing quadruped, a little leg extension and abduction combination. And then we're doing a loaded beast plank variation. So I'll demonstrate each of those before we get into the block so we can go smoothly through 45-second intervals. We're doing 45 seconds on, 15 off for each of those 3 exercises, repeating it 2 rounds. So the first one, you can try them with me if you would like. So the first one is a squat, shoulder distance apart, feet are parallel. As you squat, you want to make sure you have that neutral spine, no hunch passive, no Notre-Dame. So neutral spine, growing tall. Coming up, side kick. Squat, and other side kick. So as you side kick, give me your best kick, like you're taking someone out with the front of your foot. So that's the first exercise. Second one, you don't have to do all these because I showed you earlier. Quadruped, 4 points of contact. Your right forearm is going to come down. Really try to keep your low back from moving as you lengthen the left leg. So it's going to be a lift and abduct and down. That's 1 rep. And we're just going to do one side, 45 seconds. The last exercise, you can use wrist support. You can use dumbbells to keep your wrist from excessively extending, like in a plank. So this will keep your wrist neutral. Or you can just come into a plank. So this one, you're either going to hold a plank, you're going to either add cross-body climbers, that's level 2, letting your hips rotate. Level 3 is a loaded beast. Push your hips above your knees, and then come into the cross-body climber. Alternating sides with the push back in between. So you're going to pick one of those variations for that last one. Okay, ready?
Yes. Okay.
Don't think I need water quite yet. So we're going to start. Let me get my timer up. 45 seconds with our ninja kicks, squat kicks. 3, 2, and 1. Squat the hips low, kick to the left. Squat, kick. Make sure that core is engaged, pulled towards your spine through the entirety of the exercise. It doesn't matter how high you kick. It can be low. It can be higher, as long as you don't compromise your posture. Do you recognize this song? I found it. Happy Together from
The Screaming Orphans.
Freaky Friday by the Screaming Orphans. Keep going, 5 seconds left. Maybe one more
I
kick.
understand.
And time, shake it out. You have 15 seconds. The dog, Indy, wants to make an appearance, but he's just gonna run all over the stuff, so he'll come out at the very end. Indy.
Give him a green or something.
He already had 2. Forget 1. Okay, I'm gonna get started. You can join when you're ready. So, 3, 2, 1, we're coming into the quadruped with the right forearm down. So quadruped, you're stacking your wrist underneath your shoulder, your knee underneath your hip, lower that right forearm, and we begin now. Lift and abduct, and down. Lift, abduct, and back. So you're opening your side of your body to the left. Your core is engaged. Trying not to mobilize your lower back too much here. You'll always get the other side when we do it. So we're really working the back line of the body here, the back extensors, the hamstrings, and the glutes. Let's do one more. Then bring it down. You can push back to a quick child's pose, rest position. And then grab your weights if you're using them, or just your hands for a plank. So I'm going to do the loaded beast variation. You can just hold the plank or add the crossbody climbers. And we're starting in 3, 2, and 1, 45 seconds. So pop it up into a nice, tall plank, no sagging, anything. You're at one long rod, and we're starting here. Just 45 seconds. If you're doing the loaded beast variation, really make sure your hips are above or behind your knees, and you're really decompressing the spine as you push your hips back. And driving that knee forward to the opposite elbow. Yes, exhaling as you come forward, inhaling back. Will help your movement. 5 seconds. Make sure your neck isn't getting droopy and tired. Okay, and sit back. We've got 15 seconds and we're repeating all that one more time. Okay, so standing. You might want to move your weight so we don't trip. Okay, round 2 will be easier because we're familiar with everything now, hopefully. So 3, 2, 45 seconds. Squat, side kick. Squat and kick. So imagine you're a little ninja here, and there's a target on each side of you. You've got to kick it at the same height, left and right. Remember, when you come down, you've got neutral spine. I'm not going to get you. Your core is engaged, and you're sending your hips back and your weight is in your heels. 6 seconds. Okay, time. Now, 15-second break. You can walk around or grab water. And now you're going to do the other side. So back into quadruped. Let's get it set up first, and then I'll hit play. Quadruped, lower the left elbow so it's in line with your shoulder. Your right leg is lightly on the ground. And in 3, 2, 1. Bring the right leg back, reach it back as long as you can. Now lift it to the hip height. Oh no, you can skip forward and forward. And then abduct the leg. So lower, lift, and abduct. So you're on that left forearm. The right hand is on the ground. Lightly. You're working the right back of the leg and the glutes. It's not telling me how much time you have left. Let's find out when it buzzes on my wrist. Okay, and time. Sit back. Get ready to grab your weights if you need them for the loaded beast, cross-body climber, or a plank. Another option for that would be to be in a forearm plank. That's another option. In 3, 2, and 1. Here we go. Choose your variation. It can be here, or it can simply be the cross-body climbers. If you're doing that loaded beast, you're really pre-stretching the quadricep muscles. When you pre-stretch a muscle, it will contract a little more efficiently. So when you drive up, you're pairing that pre-stretch, which will give you a little bit more explosive energy to bring that knee up. And time, bring the knees down, sit back. You can rest there for a second if you want. I'm gonna demonstrate block B. So, block B, quick little demonstration, 3 times we're doing a mid pulse from a squat and then coming up into a passe. This is kind of a little ballet base. So from that shoulder distance apart stance, we're going to be doing a squat. I'll show you from the side. From the squat, you're going to pulse it 3 times in that mid range of the squat. Come up onto the left foot, passe, that means toes to the knees. Arms, if you would like, come overhead. And then 3 pulses in the squat, 2, 3, arms come up like this as you passe, toe to knee. Exercise 1. Exercise 2 is a plank to a rotational side plank. You can use the weights or just your hands. So the full version is a plank, staggering your feet, rotating to the sides of them as you come up into side plank, coming back through home, rotating to the other side. Modification from plank, lower the knees, keep the glutes engaged, and rotate using your knee as a kickstand as you come left and right. So that's the modification. Exercise 3 is a mat Pilates bridge with single leg marches, or you can completely cut out the marches. You're gonna have your feet slightly in front of your knees, your arms planted into the ground, your shoulders activated, pressing evenly into both arms. Inhale, exhale, you're gonna curl the tailbone up, hips meet the knees, make sure the legs are not bowing out to the side, you're engaging those inner thighs. So you can do this, you can hold this, or you can have the arms down and do 90-degree tabletop marches, but don't let your hips sag right and left. Level 3 would be arms up, so you have a little more core support, less support from the arms. So those are the 3 exercises demonstrated. So choose your modification, and we're going to do the same block, 45, 15 off. Okay. Ready? Oh, we can start there if you want. So we're starting standing up.
Okay, I was just helping you.
So 45 seconds in 3, 2, and 1. We're doing the 3 pulses at the mid-range of your shoulder distance squat. Passe, arms come up and balance for a second, come down. 3, 2, 1, passe, toe to knee. So you can be as graceful as you would like. It's hard to balance. If the balance is too hard, you can just come to a lower balance, right? This. You don't have to bring your knee up as high. Or you can just cut the balance and just come up onto the balls of the feet. That's another option. Right here, you can do 3, 2, 1, balls of the feet, releve. If the balance is too hard, the main thing is you stay moving. 1 more rep here. Okay, 15 seconds, we're gonna get ready for the plank. So again, if you would like to support your wrists and have a neutral wrist with your palms facing each other, use dumbbells, or you can just be on your hands if you do not have wrist issues. Okay, 3, 2, 1. So pop it into a nice high plank, and then if you're on your knees, you're going to rotate to the left, come back to the knees, rotate to the right. If you're not on your knees, your feet have a wide base of support. That'll give you more stability. So keep your feet wide and rotate left and right, looking towards the hand that reaches towards the sky. Keeping those obliques taut, pulling towards your spine like a corset. Make sure you're still breathing subtly. If you're forgetting to breathe, that happens when you get tired. 1 more each side. And then come down carefully. Our last one is on our backs, the bridge. So whatever variation you choose, try to commit to that for the 45 seconds if you can. So starting with the knees, the feet slightly in front of the knees, hip distance apart. Arms pressing into the ground. 3, 2, 1. Exhale, roll your tailbone off the mat. Press into your arms and either hold this, engaging those inner thighs like pretend you're squeezing a ball between your legs, or you can come into the 90-degree marches. This is stabilizing one side of your body at a time. You're resisting letting your hips rotate. Level 3, let the palms face each other. Reach the arms over the shoulders. This is the most advanced version, so pick whatever works for you or try them all. Nice. Making sure those hips don't sag as you get tired. You'll want to go down lower. One more left, one more right. Oh, and then roll out of your bridge, 15 seconds of a break. Grab some water if you need it, and then we're doing all of that one more time. Starting in the squat. So this is actually my St. Patrick's Day playlist. I was going to use it. I was going to sub an indoor cycling class at Bodyweight Athletic Club, but then coronavirus hit, so I'm finally using my playlist. In case you're wondering why it's all Celtic music. It was for St. Patrick's Day, but now it's in May. 3, 2, 1. So the 3 pulses, mid-range, 2, 3, passe, or you cannot do that single leg balance, and you can do releve onto the balls of the feet. So choose an option. 1, 2, 3, passe. 1, 2, 3, lift. Weight is in the heels, your hips are back. Exhale as you come up will help you. So just pretend you're a ballet dancer, getting nice and tall. Okay, last one there.
So if it's Irish, you're supposed to kick yourself in the bum.
Yeah, jump 2 3s. We both did Irish dancing and my brother. So this is called a jump 2 3 in Irish dancing. And what's it? Go skip 2 3 4 5 6 7. Jump 2 3. Jump 2 3.
Get back to the workout.
That was a 15-second break. And now back to the side plank with the rotation. Back onto our hands or onto those dumbbells. 3, 2, and 1. Pop it into a high plank and then rotate to the side. You can be on those knees, letting the knee be the kickstand is A-okay. Make sure the glutes are still engaged and you're opening up the front of the hip. So it's still a very active posture, even if you're on those knees. Or you're not on the knees, you're right here. For bellies. Almost done with this. And in time, come down to the knees, maybe push it back to a quick little child's pose rest. Heels to the bum to the heels. And then we're going to flip it onto our back for the bridge. Last one of block B. So feet in front of the knees. In 3, 2, 1. Exhale, tuck your tailbone and lift it towards the ceiling. Pressing through the arms is variation 1. Variation 2. Variation 3. Or variation 4. So one of these 4, I'm sure you can do. Toe ball heel when you're coming down from that single leg bridge. Toe ball heel down. Not letting those hips go left and right. If you had a ruler over them, the ruler wouldn't fall. Or if you're holding your favorite dish, so you're holding a platter of food, you're not going to let that food fall off of your pelvis. One more left, one more right. And then roll back from the upper back, mid back, lower back, and then finally release the tailbone to the mat. Then however you want to come up, actually we're going to stay seated. For the last set, it's all core. You didn't see these ones. So my mom will be a little surprised probably with these exercises. So it's all mat Pilates core moves. We have the 100, which there are 3 options, and I'm sure one of them will work well for you. And then we have the single leg stretch on our forearms. So a different variation from a classic Pilates move. Followed by swimming, which we're on our bellies, working our back and our back side of the body. So I'm going to demonstrate each of those really quickly. You can just watch if you want. So the 100, we're going to be with our feet on the ground, our arms reaching long. Inhale, exhale to curl up. Option 1 is to stay here, pulsing the arms, inhaling for 5, and exhale out the mouth for 5. Option 2, tabletop the legs at 90 degrees. Exhale, reach long and pulse here with the legs at a 90-degree angle. Making sure that you're squishing an imaginary bug underneath the low of your back, the lower back. And if this is easy enough, then glue your legs together and extend the legs out on an angle, or even just to the ceiling, lowering them like the arm on a cloth. The lower the legs go, it's going to be more demand on your core to keep your lower back glued to the ground. So that's the 100. The second exercise, we're going to be on our hands and then melt to the elbows. The elbows are going to be underneath your shoulders. Tabletop the legs, you're going to tap one leg down, tap the other leg down. So single leg stretch. It's going to be easiest with your knees over your hips. It'll be a little bit harder if you lengthen your knees away from you. A little longer moment arm, they say in biomechanics. So it'll be a little harder here. Exercise 3 is called swimming, and you'll be on your belly. Core is engaged. Option 1 is to keep your forehead down and just isolate the movement, lifting the left arm and the right leg, and vice versa. Keeping the core engaged and the glutes on. Option 2 is to inhale, exhale, lift, and start fluttering, palms facing down, lifting the knees off the mat. You're swimming from a big, great white shark. So those are the final 3 core exercises here. 9:41, okay, we're still good on time, good. So 45 seconds of the 100. They call it the 100 because you're doing 100 pumps usually. We're doing 100-ish because I can't count. And we're doing time-based, so it's not the same. So on our backs, and you can try whatever variation works for you, but you might want to start here. And then if it's too easy, start here, and then you can go here and then lower the legs. So 3, 2, and 1, 100. Exhale to come up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Want it harder? Come here. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Super. Glue those legs together. 4, 5. If you want it harder, extend the legs. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Focus on the neck. Look towards your belly button to lengthen the back of the neck and keep it from craning into excessive tension. Trying to clear the shoulder blades off of the floor at whatever leg variation you're at. You're not letting those shoulder blades come down. Keep going. And hug your knees to your chest. Come onto your back, just roll left and right, and then roll to seated. We're going to start in about 5 seconds. Let's get set up first. Hands up behind you with your fingers facing your feet. And we're going to lower to our elbows, making sure that your forearms are pressed into the ground and your elbows are directly underneath your shoulder. You're going to squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other and make the chest feel open and weightless. And let's start 45 seconds. Here we go. Bring the legs to tabletop, or to make it harder, a little away from stacking just directly above your hips. You're going to lower one leg, hover it above the ground, and then bring it back. Inhale it down and exhale it back. Really think about opening that chest, opening your clavicles. Keeping the back of the neck really long. By looking at the horizon in front of you. So if you've been here with your knees above the hips at that true tabletop, you want to make it harder, start here. You'll feel a little more demand on your lower deep abdominal musculature and your hip flexors. 3, 2, and 1. And our last one is the swimming. I'll go this way this time. So we start on our bellies. Always remember to pull the core like it's a hot griddle. This is now a hot griddle, and you're pulling your core off of the griddle, engaging the glutes. In 3, 2, 1. Swimming. You can start with your forehead down, lifting the limbs in contralateral opposition, they call it. That just means right moves with left, left moves with right. Go make it harder. Come up into an extension like a superhero, and then flutter your legs, flutter your arms. Is level 2. With the core pulled tight towards your spine, the glutes are turned on, pointing through the toes. You can try having the palms face each other. That might get you a little more shoulder external rotation if you feel tight. Keep swimming a little bit, faster, a little bit further. And come down. Release your cheek to the side. A little rest for 15 seconds. And then we're going to flip it for round 2 onto our backs again. Rolling back for the 100. Challenge yourself. Try a new variation that you didn't try last time. As long as you're imprinting that spine into the back and smashing that invisible bug under your low back. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale. Exhale. Peel up with the abdominals and start pumping the arms. Reaching really, really long through your fingers. Looking towards your midsection to protect the back of the neck. Remember, your options are to straighten the legs, super glue them from big toe to your pelvic floor, all the way down the leg. And then you can lower them, but only lower them if you can support that lowering by gluing that low back to the floor. So not everyone's going to be able to get low with the legs. It's okay to be at whatever variation you need to be at today. Keep breathing in for 5 and out for 5. One more breath cycle. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, and exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hug the knees to the chest. Release your lower back, roll left, roll right. Then look to the left with your neck, look to the right to release any tension before rolling up with a little momentum. And coming in to the single leg stretch variation. Start with your fingers facing you, put your hands behind you, open up the chest. So we feel the shoulder blades coming together, then lower your forearms to the ground with that open chest. Start the timer in 3, 2, and 1. Bring the legs to tabletop or a little away. Hover the leg an inch above the ground with really good control. Don't let it top the ground, but it almost gets there. Make sure your chest is open and it feels weightless. You keep that neutral spine here, the natural curvature of your back. Nice, graceful movement, pointing through the toes. Inhale down, exhale, bring it up. And time. Roll it up and into the swimming. So with swimming, you can always come down and then come back up and join us with swimming if it gets a little tiring, or go back to the forehead down variation that we start with. So on our bellies, reach the arms out long in front of you and the legs out behind you. We start in 3, 2, and 1. So remember, hot brittle is now your mat. So pull your belly off, try to lift it, even if it's just a tiny fraction of a centimeter that you're lifting it from the mat. Or you're lifting here and you're fluttering the legs and the arms with a faster movement. Try to keep your neck long, so I'll show you what not to do. Don't do this. Don't crane your neck. Try to look at the edge of your mat, lengthening the back of it. You can have your palms face each other, whatever feels comfiest on your shoulder. Okay, a little bit more. The shark is still chasing you for 3, 2, and 1. Those get tiring. Then press yourself back to child's pose for like 5 seconds. So we just have, let me check the time. We have 10 minutes, but we're gonna go 15 minutes because we started 5 minutes late. So we have our burnout round I'll demonstrate those. Quiet burpee is number 1. So no jumping, no noise, burpee. And then we have a squat to a jumpless jumping jack, the jumpless jack. And then we repeat each of those for 3 rounds. So we're actually going to do quiet burpee 3 rounds of that, and then do 3 rounds of the next one. So it's a little different format. Quiet burpee, you can use weights for your wrist or without weights. You're in a plank. We're doing a shoulder blade push-up. So keep your arms relatively straight. You're going to widen the shoulder blades, let them melt towards your spine. Widen them, melt towards your spine. So it's a little baby push-up, little pulse, just using your shoulder blades, widening and narrowing for 4. And then walk up into an external rotation squat. Come up onto the balls of your feet, and if you can, elevate those arms overhead. That's 1 repetition. So fast would be 1, 2, 3, 4 of those scapular push-ups. Step it up, releve, arms come overhead. That's 1 rep. The last exercise we're doing today before cool down is the squat like we have done earlier, shoulder distance apart. It's a squat from, I'll show you from the side, bringing the arms long to tap the sides of your shins, flat back. Then come up into a jumping jack without the jump. So you're stepping it out from here, left and right, getting that elevation change from down here to up here. Okay? So grab water if you need it. We have 1 more round. So, 3 rounds. This is the last block of exercising before cool down. Okay, you might want weights for your wrist. Yeah, so if you have wrist issues, use those weights or a handle, a push-up handle. Okay, 45 seconds on our knees. 3, 2, 1. So from that push-up, we're doing the scapular push-up. Or you can call it a sternum drop. You're lifting your sternum and you're dropping it, but you're only doing that from the shoulders. The arms are staying relatively straight, but not hyperextended. You have a soft bend to them. So 4 of those. Step the foot up, the other foot up, come up, nice and tall. If you can, come onto the balls of the feet, lift the arms overhead, and then come back down to the squat, flat back, set your legs back to a plank with nice control. Scapular push-ups here. Just isolating the movement from your shoulder blades. Widen and narrow. How's your neck doing? Is it nice and long? And then step the left foot up. Step the right foot up. Come up. Timer just went off, but we're going to finish this one. Arms come overhead and falling and down. So 15 seconds, and we repeat that for 2 more rounds. Was that okay?
Yeah.
So the scaption that we're doing at the back, you can see from here, I'm narrowing my shoulder blades, I'm widening them. So think of a stage curtain closing and opening. Right now it is all the way wide, now it's all the way narrow towards my spine. Okay, 3, 2, and 1. 4 of those. Widen, narrow. Using the serratus anterior here, and the rhomboids to retract the shoulder blades. Step the left foot up, step the right foot up, releve, arms come overhead. Bring it back down. So you can do this at your own pace. You can do it fast if you can have good control. That's the only way you can do it quickly. When you come into releve, make sure the weight is in the ball of the foot. On the big toe, it tends to roll to the pinky toe. And that's how you fall. Up with the feet. Up, balls of the feet, and come down. Okay, 15 seconds off. I don't even remember putting a song on it. That's nice. Okay, last round of this exercise. And then we have the jumpless jacks. 45 seconds and go. In that high plank, you can even be on your knees. You can do this on the knees just like this. Trying to give you as many options as you can so that you can do this workout with ease and no pain, hopefully. Step the foot forward, step the other foot forward. Rise up with the arms overhead. Bring it down. feet come up. And releve. You can also call it a heel raise if you don't know what releve means. It's a ballet term. And time. Finish your last repetition. Nice and strong. And then shake it up. Last exercise. We're going to come into the jumpless jack. Yeah, no weights needed for the rest of the workout. So jumpless jack, remember, keep that back flat. So I'm standing here, all I'm moving is I'm hinging my hips. As I come into that squat, my arms are nice and long, touching the outer shins. 3, 2, and 1. Squat, step it up. And squat, step it up. So we're not jumping, but we're still doing the jumping jack motion. You can go faster if you want a little more intensity. Stepping it out left and right. And if you're doing this workout with someone who wants a little more intensity, they can come here and do that jump. If that person wants a little more than this intensity, they can do a cheerleader jump where the legs come out from that squat. We do a really explosive jump. Otherwise, you're here. I'm blocking you.
That's okay.
And time. Accidentally went over and up. Walk it out. Just try to stay a little bit, try to stay moving during that active 15-second recovery. 2 more rounds to finish, and then we're stretching. So close. 3, 2, and 1. So any of those variations, this is our low impact option here. Moderate impact. Jumping on the balls of the feet, coming back to that flat back squat. Hardest option, plyometric star jump. Jump from the side. Again, remember that back is flat. Core is engaged. This is more of a stretching song. And time. And we have 1 more round. Let's see. Oh, this is a good not stretching song. Whistle for the choir.
By the fratellis.
Last round, right here, and then we stretch. 3, 2, 1. Squat, step it up. Always come back to that squat, hip distance apart or shoulder distance. Shoulder will be a little bit more stability. If you're prone to feeling a little lack of balance, you might want to have that shoulder distance apart versus a narrow squat, hip distance. Come over here. So I'm going to do level 2 right now. And I'm going to end with a few level 3s. These are tired. Okay. And now walk it out and grab some water before we add our little stretching component. I know we're going over, but we'll just go into like 9:05.
10:05.
Oh, 10:05.
Can't count, can't tell time.
10:05.
I'm just teasing.
So this is our decompression round, otherwise known as a cool down, decompressing all of the joints from what we just made them do for us. I'll keep this on, I'm gonna be a stretching song. So starting here, facing, I don't know, facing this way. I was gonna say the picture frame, but no one has that. And then squatting a little bit. This is a dynamic stretch. So we're gonna step our left foot into a crescent lunge. If you've done yoga, they call this crescent lunge, or it's a deep lunge. On the ball of that back foot, you're gonna press into the right heel and straighten your leg to make a triangle. And then if you can, lower your hands to the ground to feel that stretch in the back of the hamstring. Try and straighten your leg as much as possible on the front leg. You can always step your left foot closer to you if you need to. Closer to you.
I need to follow that.
Okay. Try to straighten through that right leg, keeping your back flat. You can even have your hands here or on your hips.
Or on the couch.
Or on the couch. And then straightening your body, come back over your pelvis. Come back into that lunge, step forward, switch sides. Follow the foot back. Press into that left heel to straighten your leg, bringing the right heel down. Hands on the hips or wherever, and hinge your back forward. The key here is try to keep as flat of the back as possible, so you get the stretch into the back of the leg versus the lower back. And step the leg back in, come to your knees. If you need a little more knee support, then I'll do this with you. Just double or triple up your mat to protect your knee. Otherwise, you don't need a folded mat. We're just gonna hold it twice. Bring the right foot in front of you into like you're proposing to somebody, set, we call this 90 degrees split squat. From there, hands on the hips, tuck your tailbone under you, just like in warm up, we're going full circle. So tuck your tailbone, release your tailbone. Scared dog right here, happy dog wagging its tail. Just feel that hip opening when you tuck your tailbone, you open the front of the hip. From there, keep the tailbone tucked, grow nice and tall, inhale. Step your right foot a little in front of you, and then a little out to the diagonal. So your foot is in front of your knee, and you have somewhere to stretch into. You can bring it a little closer. Right there. Hands on the hips, inhale, grow tall. Exhale, press forwards while you're tucking that tailbone to open this side of the hip. Hands can be on the front of the thigh. Use your hands to press you up taller. Getting a little spinal extension. If this is a little much, you can back out of the stretch a little bit. So for flexibility, for maintenance, you want to at least do 30 seconds. That's all we're going to have time for today. If you're working on increasing flexibility, 60 seconds to 2 minutes is what they recommend with the American College of Sports Medicine. So it takes time to increase flexibility. If you want to add a little rotation, reach your right arm in front of you. Inhale, exhale, and rotate that arm behind you. Just reaching it back behind you, looking towards that right hand. You can always come to a bind if you have the range of motion. You can grab the back of your left thigh and kind of use that to pull you back into a little more rotation. And just hold this for one more breath. Inhale, exhale everything out, and come back to center. Little variation here. Watch me closely. I'm going to rotate my back leg. So my foot is directly behind my knee, and I'm facing forwards. We're doing a little dynamic and an isometric adductor stretch, inner thigh stretch. So same thing, keep that foot in front of the knee so you have somewhere to travel, and make sure, use your hands, make sure your leg is staying back. You're not flopping it forward. It's externally rotated. Hands on the hips. We're just going to press forward and release. Press and recoil. Making sure that back left leg is directly jutting behind your left knee for proper alignment. If you want a little more, you can bring your foot further away from you so you can press even further into that inner thigh stretch. On the next one, you're going to hold it. So hold it here. Reach your arms out into a T. Really reach to the right. And now bring the left arm up. You can have the right arm resting on your knee if you want, or towards the ground, so long as you don't fold forwards. Imagine those panes of glass. They're back and they're trapping you from front and from behind. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale everything out of the mouth, out of the lungs. And from here, come up to kneeling, tricep stretch. Left arm comes back towards your mid-back, and then you can either use this right hand from the top to press it back a little more. And then other side, bring the right arm up. We're gonna do the other leg in a second. And then use the left hand to bring that arm even more down your lower back, your mid-back. So it looks like this. And then bring the arms down, other leg comes forward, evening it out. So right knee on the mat that you rolled up, bring the left leg forward into that proposal stretch, 90 degrees. Hands on the hips, tuck and untuck the tailbone. So your scared dog, your happy dog. Just think about that tailbone in isolation, moving forward and back. Nothing else is changing, only your relation from your pelvis to your body. And now next time you tuck your tailbone, tuck it under you. You're going to bring that foot forward and then to the side a little bit. And then from there, inhale, grow tall. Exhale, press forward into that stretch. So you want to make sure that your knee is not jutting too far past your ankle or past your toes. That's why we bring the foot ahead of us a little bit. And press into your upper thigh to grow a little bit taller. Relax those shoulders, shoulder blades. We'll go like 2 more minutes because there's one more thing I wanted to do. So you can go if you need to. Holding this, inhale. Exhale, add that rotation. Left arm wraps back, looking towards that hand. If you want a little more, then bring that hand to your right hamstring and look back over your left shoulder. Or just reach your arm back behind you. One more breath here. Exhale, come back to center. And do that. We're going to rotate to the back this time. So rotate your right lower leg behind your right knee with your left leg externally rotated and the foot in front of the knee. Hands on your hips, and then bring your leg back a little bit so it's in line with your hip. So it's jutting out from the hip. And then your heel is facing, right there. So that's good alignment. And then from there, inhale, grow tall. Exhale, press towards that left foot. Inhale, grow tall, so you're recoiling and pressing into the left foot. You should feel this in your inner thighs, your middle splits muscles that you need to stretch out if you want to get those splits. So you can go at any pace you would like, really slow or a little bit more speed. On the next one, you're going to sit into that stretch. Bring the arms out to a T. Really lean to the left. Lean really long. And now bring the left hand to the floor or to your thigh and stretch the right arm over. Palm facing the floor. Really reaching and opening that right side body. But as you're doing this, keep pressing into that left foot, opening that hip and inner thighs. One more breath here. Inhale. Fully exhale. Come back to your knees. Roll your mat back out. We're just going to end standing. Like 1 more minute. 1 to 2 more minutes standing. I did start late, so it's okay. From standing, we're just going to come back to those thoracic flexion and extension. So bending the knees, rounding your back like a yoga cat pose. Coming up, palms face forward, engage the glutes, and look to the ceiling. So we're just going to go a little faster now. Forward and extension. Flex forward, tucking that tailbone. And now neutral spine, engage the glutes, and look up. 1 more each. And then shrug the shoulders, unshrug the shoulders. Shrug, unshrug. We always say keep the shoulders down and unshrugged, but it helps to feel the opposite so you know what not to do. So shrug, unshrug. Coordinating that with the legs. Shrug, bend the knees. Unshrug, straighten. A little coordination. Shrug the shoulders, bend the knees, unshrug. So root the arms down as you stand. Get that bad posture as you bend the knees. 2 more. Coming back full circle, our very last exercise. Rotate that left ankle. We're going up the kinetic chain, ending at our eyes. Rotate the other ankle. Come back to the left leg. Tripod your weight into the right foot. So weight is in the big toe, pinky toe, and the heel. Then lift the left leg, windshield wiper, or I call them hip stirs. Stirring the hip left and right. Bring it out to the 45. See how it feels now versus how we started class with this. And then behind you about 6 inches. Other leg. So Tom McCook, a really famous Pilates practitioner, he also, I think, is a physical therapist or has at least studied physical therapy. He taught me this in an online video, so not me, everybody. And this is really good for telling your joints that it is safe to move. It gets those neuromuscular receptors deep in the hip joint to go to your brain and say, it's okay to move. I'm getting that deep rotation in the hip socket, so it will help prime you for more movement. Set that leg down, coming into that full body rotation, letting the arms, those wet noodles rotate, slapping your kidneys and the side of your hip. So a little self-massage, looking right and looking left. Letting those hips mobilize. Now taking the hips out of the equation, step your feet down. We're just going to isolate the upper thoracic. So you're letting those ribs really ring out left and right. Still doing the self-body tapping. Breathing, staying nice and tall. Then remember what's next. We are going to look left and right as we internally and externally rotate from the shoulder joints, self-massaging our body with all of this. Now keep the arms limp just down. You're just doing the neck with the eyes left and right. Now keep the head forward. Look your eyes all the way to the left in your periphery. Now look them all the way over to the right without moving the body. Left and right and up with the eyes, not the neck, and down. Look all the way towards your feet if you can. I can't see my feet. And then close your eyes. Deeply breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And give yourself a round of applause for completing the workout. And high five your workout partner.
Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.
And I was going to say Happy Mother's Day to my mom, and thank you so much for allowing me to have all these movement experiences, and my brother too, from a young age. Dance, Irish dancing, just like we did over here, and music, tap dancing, cross country for a year. I know it's all expensive, so much thanks to all of the mothers and motherly figures for letting their kids have active lifestyles. I know that that's not always available to people, so it's great when you are able to have those experiences. So happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Kira. The wonderful workout.
Thank you.
Sweating.
So if you weren't able to join us for the low impact mobility and strength workout, I think you can save it. I'll look into that. I completely don't know how to use Facebook Live. That's why this was my practice round today. So I'll be, I just posted my website, Kira Kinesis. It's actually some long URL, I have to change it. But it's on my profile, the link to my website. I have also put a picture of free classes that I will be teaching. 2 of them on Monday evenings, a basic class called Pure Lead Pilates, followed by Primal Pilates, which is more animal flow movements, and cardio elements, a little more of an intermediate class. And Thursdays at 9:30 a.m. I'm going to teach an osteoporosis-friendly class. Don't let that scare you. You don't have to have low bone mass to join the class, but it's geared towards individuals who might be worried about low bone density impacting their workout and safety issues. So that's going to be a basic Pilates class geared towards that population, but you can still do it if you're an 11-year-old. So don't let it scare you off.
Oh, and she'll accept donations.
Oh,
They're
yes.
free, but she doesn't want anyone to be left behind.
Yeah, I don't want anyone to be left out, especially during this crisis if you've been devoid work like a lot of people have been, but even 50 cents or $1 helps. So I put my Venmo and Apple Pay. If you message me for my phone number, I will provide you with that. So thank you very much if you are able to donate for the classes, but I'm doing this as a way for me to practice teaching and get more used to this computer setup that is so outlandish to me, teaching virtually like this. So thank you so much and enjoy your Mother's Day, and we're gonna go finish making a brunch right now. Bye. Bye.